Truth, lies, shenanigans.
All right, so since we're still talking about Trump, I wanted to talk about these last minute Trump. Oh, this is, by the way, this is shenanigans. I'm going to call it shenanigans. I want to talk about these last minute Trump pardons. Um, in the late waning hours last night of his presidency, Donald Trump delivered his official pardons and commutations. Guess who was on there? Definitely a bunch of his rich dudes, a bunch of rich dudes that were caught stealing, most notably Trump's top confidant, Steve Bannon, who was charged with swindling uh, Trump supporters for private funds to try to build Trump's border wall. And of course, another friend, Elliot Brody, who admitted to accepting money to lobby Trump for China and Malaysia interests. But then there were rappers, Lil Wayne and Kodak Black, who had gun charges. And the biggest surprise to me was actually Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick, who was in jail for racketeering, bribery, and extortion. Now, there were also some notable snubs. And so Trump himself and his children were not pardoned, which, he was considering seriously trying to do, but was supposedly talked out of it. And I'm guessing because I guess he would incriminate himself to some degree. And so, he does have some pending litigation against him that could affect that. So he probably did it for that reason.
A lot of pending litigation,
Yeah,
a lot.
that he can't pardon himself from. And then none of the Capitol rioters were pardoned, including QAnon supporter, QAnon shaman, whose lawyer said it would have been the honorable thing to do if he had done it. And of course, there was Joe Exotic. I don't know if you know Joe Exotic from Tiger King fame. He was expecting a pardon from Trump, even had a limousine waiting outside the prison. And that never materialized. All right, so host, any surprises to you, or did these pardons all make sense to you? I'm going to start with Robbie Rock.
I'm going to say that they made sense in so much as Trump's logic throughout his administration has made sense. But no, I mean, he's pardoning people who either stepped up for him, who ponied up Joe, who helped funnel money illegally to him just in the background. He's just taking care of his lackeys and his supporters. And it's important to note that right, not all of them, because he was so happy with what was happening on the 6th, and none of these people got pardons. I think that's just the icing on the cake for them. If you want to know where you stand, okay, you showed up en masse, you did what he wanted you to do, and that's it, the snub. So yeah, it really didn't surprise me. There's no real surprises left from Trump. I'm just glad that this nonsense is going to be behind us. The next things we're going to be talking about Trump is all the charges coming up against him everywhere that he's in trouble.
All right, Johnny Storm, your thoughts. Were you anything surprised to you?
A little bit, honestly, a little bit, because I didn't think that he cared. So I feel like it's maybe a ploy to just kind of still have somebody on his side, to have some type of allies. I don't think too deep into that, but I just feel like maybe that could be a reason, because I just don't see him caring too deeply to pardon Lil Wayne. But I am biased because I do feel like Lil Wayne's one of my favorite rappers, so I'm biased. I would not want him to rot in jail.
Johnny, you need to change. Oh, we had to change. So you're talking talent wise? Now I don't even see his talent actually. He has great producers. I'm sorry, but I'm not. I can't. He has some awesome music that he puts out. Yes, but I think that's his producers, because I don't think he's one of the top.
I think he's definitely controversial. Like he's not like, oh, he's a great lyricist, but this is digressing. But I just feel like, me personally, I just see musical talent, but I wouldn't want him to I wouldn't want him to rot in prison over like a fancy gun. I think it was like a gun charge. So but
I think it was
at the
only
same
10 years.
time,
He'd have been out pretty quick.
It's only 10 years. No, but I mean, if you've done something, you have to have, there's consequences. So at the end of the day, I feel like some of the pardons could have been um irrelevant. Like they probably shouldn't have been done. But yeah. So I'm torn a little bit.
All right, Lizzie. I think I know where you're going with it.
I mean, for the record, for lil'Wayne, this was his second gun offense, in addition to other drug offenses and other past issues that he's had with law enforcement. But lil'Wayne, it was lil'Wayne, it was Kodak Black, it was a whole bunch of rappers who, not just rappers, but when we're talking about the hip hop community, we're not talking about a Common here, or Chance the Rapper, or rappers who are offering
Good guy.
inspiring messages to the public and who have never had any run-ins with law enforcement.
Or
These
Drake,
were
right?
people
Drake.
who
Bobby's Drake.
gave Trump these were people who gave
Love
Trump,
Drake.
I mean, Drake, is in Canada. He ain't down here getting arrested, not yet at least. But, these are people who, had a series of offenses over and over. And I think one of the things we need to look at or think about when we talk about pardons is it was never the intent for a presidential pardon to be basically a last minute fuck you to the nation. And that's what happened yesterday.
Yep.
He went and he was just like, okay, I'm out. There's nothing I can do about this. So let me just give one last middle finger, like crisscross to everybody, and give pardons to people where it makes absolutely no sense. So I think as we move forward, even though this is probably never going to happen in my lifetime, but as we move forward, we need to start considering ratifying the Constitution in certain areas, changing elements of the Constitution. Like, we can't get rid of
These
presidential
pardons are
pardons
ridiculous.
without changing the Constitution, because it's in the Constitution. However, at this point, presidents are starting to make a mockery of the process. They're pardoning their friends. Forget what they're being accused of or what they have been jailed for, whatever. If you my boy, I got you. I got you. And that's not what the intent was. And so hopefully at some point in the near future, someone will have the balls and be like, we need to change this a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're starting to get away from the whole idea and purpose of a presidential pardon.
It'd be good to see Biden, because Biden probably could. I don't know if he can get an amendment to the Constitution, but he certainly could do something.
I would say that for Kamala, because she is a former prosecutor, so I think she would be able, if by chance at some point she becomes president of the United States, I would look to her to get the ball rolling for that.
All right, so I got about a minute left. So my thoughts are along the lines of what Gianni Storm was saying. Is I thought it really, I looked through the list, and it was 143 people that he either pardoned or commuted their sentences. And I really looked through the list, and it was really, she's right about allies. I think what he was doing was looking for allies. I mean, and he wasn't going to get that from he doesn't care about those QAnon people and the people that stormed the Capitol. He didn't care about all of them. Or Joe Exotic. Who is he going to do? Matter of fact, he probably looked at Joe Exotic with the limo and probably just took him off the list. But I think it really has to do, if you look at the whole list of people, it's a bunch of people who have money or have influence or has ties to money, especially overseas. So I really think he was, this has to do with friends and friends of friends is really what this was about. So, but it's Trump. I expect nothing less. All right, Mike Winter says, Gianni, you lost all us old people. Lizzie Enders, Sherry Blaine Free says, Lizzie Enders, I love you and your total honesty. Jeanette Brown said, he pardoned people he thinks will protect or serve him in some way. Exactly. Even lil'Wayne can serve him in some way with his popularity, because he'll, if you have some popularity he can use, he will. Okay.
Maybe Kodak Black more so than lil'Wayne really isn't cognizant of where he is day in and day out.
But lil'Wayne is popular with people in Gianni's age group.
He's popular, but
he's more like a legend in our age group.
A legend, I would agree. A legend in the age group, like Drake.
But he's not. When was the last time lil'Wayne said something? other than
But
Trump.
it doesn't matter. I mean, the fact is he has influence over those people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is the influence isn't as great anymore. This isn't Lil Wayne from 2008. This is a new Lil Wayne where we also have social media that is quick to gather folks up. Look how quickly Lil Wayne, Ice Cube, all of those MFers got gathered up once they came out in support of Trump. There's a pushback now.
A little.
There's a pushback.
I just don't think it's as significant as if he comes out with another album, it's going to be like R. Kelly, and boom, he's going to be good to go. So
I think people won't follow his politics, but I think the younger than me, of course, will say, will kind of give an eye now to Trump, or like have something to would want to hear what Wayne has to say about Trump. But you're right, Liz. He is getting pushed back because he does look like a clown in some instances.
He does look like a clown. He definitely looks like a clown in our age group.
Any celebrity that you can bring to your brand just brings shine. It brings attention. So it really, any star power is good to bring to your brand.
And
oh, I thought you were talking about the rapper Shine. I'm like, what? Oh, bring Shine. Okay.
That's so funny.
And Kevin Thaxton says,
we have to wonder how much longer Lil Wayne is going to be with us. Like, Lil Wayne is still a heavy drug user, so we're going to have to get him off that first before we start talking about anything. And I teach a lesson on lean and rap music, and Lil Wayne is heavily throughout.
I was gonna say you got some Lil Wayne. So give him this quote from Kevin Thaxton. He pointed out, and I saw this headline. Lil Wayne said, "I got a presidential pardon all because of the mess that I be starting." That's Lil Wayne for you, Gianni Storm. That's the true Lil Wayne that we're talking about. All right.
I'm sorry. I am so embarrassed for him.
But honestly, Gianni, do not feel bad because, I grew up on hip hop and I have liked controversial rappers, a few in my day.
Okay.
So, it's a maturation process. I don't think any of them have been as controversial as Lil Wayne. But I've had my
I was an NWA fan.
So yeah.
Okay.
Truth.
Good hot topic.
Shenanigans.
All right,